Right then, Blades faithful, we've got a situation on our hands. 3 massive developments breaking this week that every Sheffield United supporter needs to hear about. And I'm not being dramatic when I say the next few months will determine whether we're mounting a promotion push or fighting for our championship lives. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button immediately and join thousands of fellow Blades supporters getting the latest news first. Turn on notifications too, because when you're a Sheffield United fan, things move fast and you can't afford to miss a single update. Today's episode covers 3 crucial stories that affect our club's future. First, Chris Wilder's already planning for the January transfer window, and his target is crystal clear. Then, we'll discuss the challenge Wilder's laid down to the squad because frankly, they needed to hear some home truths. And finally, a familiar face from our promotion campaign. Tommy Doyle's future might be settled permanently. It's not a Bramall Lane. These aren't just random headlines for the algorithm, supporters. These are stories that directly impact our club's direction, our position in this division, and potentially where we'll be playing football next season. So whether you're watching this from Sheffield, from somewhere else in the country, or anywhere around the world where the Blades family stretches, settle in for the full breakdown. The situation's serious, the stakes are high, and every single one of us who bleeds red and white needs to understand what's happening at our football club right now. Let's get into it. Confirmed, Chris Wilder's already planning for January, and a striker is top of the shopping list. Look, we all know the numbers. 9 games into the championship season, and we've scored just 3 goals. 3. We've been shut out 6 times. That's not championship form, that's relegation form, and Wilder knows it better than anyone. Let's rewind to the Oxford match nearly 2 weeks ago. Finally, we broke that horrific 5-game goalless streak. Then came Southampton in the Cup, and for the first time this season, we actually scored in back-to-back matches. Progress, right? Maybe we turned a corner. But then Hull City happened. We created chances, got close multiple times, but couldn't find the back of the net for the 3rd consecutive match. Same old story, lots of effort, no end product. Here's where it gets interesting. Only McBurney, remember him? He left us in August when we decided not to bring him back. He joined Hull City instead, and in September alone, McBurney scored 5 goals. 5 goals in 1 month. That's more than our entire squad has managed in the league and cups combined this season. He's now got 7 goals in all competitions for the Tigers. 7. Let that sink in. Before last weekend's trip to the MKM Stadium, Wilder was asked about McBurney. His response? Brutally honest. In my opinion, he should be wearing a red and white shirt, and he was available. Wilder said, direct, to the point, no messing about. He admitted that everyone knew Kiefer Moore was likely leaving, and it was a classic case of horses for courses, different strikers for different game plans. And that's not all. Wilder made it crystal clear that if he'd been in charge during the summer, McBurney would have been back at Bramall Lane. There was always going to be a chance of Kiefer going away in the summer, especially when the deal was done and he became available. Obviously, I wasn't here at the time, but speaking to Steve Bettis, Kiefer wanted to go to Wrexham, and the new manager didn't fancy him in the plans, so it was a good bit of business for Steve. He continued, Kiefer got an extended contract, and I think he got a few more quid as well. I'm not criticizing him because he contributed to our 92 points last season, but I would always be looking for a number 9, and Ole was available. There it is, plain as day. Wilder wanted a proper number 9. He didn't get one, and now we're paying the price with our gold route. Now, we did bring in Danny Ings on a free transfer over the summer. Against Hull, we saw glimpses of what he can offer: experience, movement, intelligence. But here's the reality. Ings is 33 years old and signed a 1-year contract. He's not a long-term solution. He's a stopgap, a mentor, a temporary fix. And whilst he might help us through this season, what about next year? Compare that to McBurney. He's 29, 4 years younger than Ings. He signed a 3-year deal with Hull. That's a proper commitment, a long-term investment, and he's proving his worth every single week with goals, assists, and that physical presence up front we desperately lack. Wilder's admission that he'd have fought to bring McBurney back if he'd been manager in the summer isn't just small talk, it's a statement of intent. It's him telling the board, the fans, and probably most importantly, himself, come January, we need a striker, a proper, reliable, championship quality striker who can lead the line and score goals. So here's the question for you watching. Would you back Wilder to bring in a striker in January? And if so, who should we target? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear what you reckon. The January window is 2 months away. That gives Wilder and the recruitment team time to identify targets, make approaches, and get deals lined up. Because if we go into the second half of the season with the same attacking options and the same goal drought, we're in serious trouble. Relegation to League One isn't just a distant possibility, it becomes a very real threat. Wilder's been open about our needs before, and he's doing it again. That's leadership, that's honesty, and that's exactly what we need right now. No sugarcoating, no corporate speak, just straight facts. We need goals, we need a striker, and come January, we need the board to back him with the funds to make it happen. Hit that like button if you agree we need reinforcements up front. And let's see what the January window brings. Because mark my words, this isn't just talk. Wilder's laying the groundwork now so that when the window opens, we're ready to move fast. Another blow for the Blades, and this time, it's about accountability. When Sheffield United face Watford at Bramall Lane after the international break, they'll be hunting for their first home points of the entire season. Let me repeat that. Their first home points. We've lost all 4 home games so far, something we haven't done in 71 years. 71 years. That's not just bad luck, that's a proper crisis. Currently, we're bottom of the championship table with just 3 points from 9 matches. Rock bottom. Last place. The drop zone isn't something we're flirting with. We're living in it. And whilst the decision to sack Ruben Sells and bring Chris Wilder back was meant to trigger an immediate turnaround, the results haven't followed yet. 3 losses from Wilder's first 4 games back. It's not the bounce we hoped for. Now, plenty of fingers have been pointed at the board, at Co Sports, at Sells. The decision to part ways with Wilder back in June and replace him with the Spaniard felt like a gamble from day one. A massive, risky gamble. 6 straight defeats under Sells confirmed that gamble failed spectacularly, forcing the board to admit they'd made the wrong call. Fair play to them for recognizing it, but that doesn't change the damage done. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets uncomfortable for some. The players are better than what they've shown. Much better. Their professional football is playing in the Championship, not Sunday League. And Wilder made that clear immediately upon his return. But Wilder's not letting them off the hook. Before the 1-0 defeat to Charlton Athletic at Bramall Lane almost 3 weeks ago, Wilder held his first press conference since being reinstated. And he didn't mince words. I have to say, and I had a frank discussion with the group straight away, that they need to take responsibility and ownership of the position they're in. They can't just keep adding on certain aspects of what went on before, and they recognize that. Frank discussion. That's manager speak for a proper dressing down. Wilder looked his players in the eye and told them straight, you're accountable. You can't hide behind systems, tactics, or managerial changes anymore. You're in this mess, and you need to own it. And he's absolutely right. Yes, it's difficult for any group of players to adapt to a new system, see it torn apart, and then switch to another manager's plans. That's disruptive and mentally challenging. But these are professional athletes earning good money to perform week in, week out. The basics shouldn't change regardless of who's in the dugout. Passing accuracy, defensive organization, work rate, desire, heart. Those fundamentals don't depend on philosophy or tactics. They depend on attitude and application. And quite frankly, we've been lacking in those departments since Wilder's return. There's been improvement. Small steps, but steps nonetheless. We're not getting battered 5-0 like we were under Sells. There's more structure, more resilience, more fight. But improvement from a low base still leaves us near the bottom. We need results, not moral victories. The players now have a responsibility to repay the faith Wilder's shown in them. He came back to save the club he loves, the club he's bled for over multiple spells. He didn't have to. He could have sat at home, waited for a better opportunity, let United drown in their own mess. But he came back because he's a blade through and through. So what about you? Do you think the players will respond to Wilder's challenge? Or are we in for a long, hard season? Let me know in the comments, because I'm genuinely interested in where you think this goes. After his press conference admission about the frank discussion with the squad, Wilder made it clear he expects to see the benefits after the October international break. That's now. Watford at home is the first test. No more excuses. No more adjustments. No more betting in periods. Time to deliver. Wilder can only do so much from the touchline. He can set the tactics, pick the team, make substitutions, deliver the team talks. But once those players cross the white line, it's on them. Their passes, their tackles, their runs, their decisions, and ultimately, their responsibility to drag this club out of the mire we're currently stuck in. The challenge has been set. The gauntlet's been thrown down. Now we wait to see if this squad has the character to respond. Because if they don't, we're staring at a relegation battle that could define this club for years to come. And trust me, nobody wants that. Make sure you're subscribed because we'll be breaking down every match, every decision, every twist and turn as this season unfolds. Your support matters and so does your voice, so keep those comments coming. Could a fan favorite's future be settled elsewhere? Birmingham City reportedly want to sign Tommy Doyle permanently after beating us to his signature. Remember Tommy Doyle? Of course you do. The midfielder spent the 2022-2023 season on loan at Bramall Lane whilst he was on Manchester City's books. And what a season it was. He played a crucial role in helping us secure promotion to the Premier League, putting in some brilliant performances in the middle of the park. Quality on the ball, energy, vision, everything you want from a modern midfielder. At the end of that season, there was genuine talk about bringing him back for a second spell. The fans loved him, the coaching staff rated him, and it felt like a natural fit. But instead, Wolverhampton Wanderers swooped in. They took him on loan first, then made the move permanent, signing him from Manchester City. That was that. Or so we thought. Fast forward to January this year, and rumors started circulating that we were interested in bringing Doyle back to South Yorkshire. The links resurfaced again over the summer. Maybe, just maybe, we'd get another crack at working with him. But Birmingham City had other ideas. The Blues beat us to the punch, securing Doyle on a season-long loan deal. And here's where it gets interesting. According to reports from Sports Boom, Birmingham now want to turn that loan into a permanent transfer. They're considering making a move in the January window if Wolves are willing to do business. The price tag, £6 million. Not pocket change, but not extortionate either for a talented 23-year-old midfielder. And you can see why Birmingham are keen. Doyle's made an impressive start under manager Chris Davies. He's fitting into their system, contributing to their push for promotion from League One. It's showing exactly why we rated him so highly during his time with us. Imagine if he'd come back to us instead. When Doyle signed for Birmingham on loan back in the summer, he didn't hide his excitement. I'm really excited. It's a big club with a lot of ambition, so I'm looking forward to getting involved and getting started, he said. He went on about being aware of what the club achieved last season and the impressive way Birmingham conducts its business. The way the club does its business is really impressive and shows that the club is only going one way. That's really exciting for us as players, staff, and most importantly, the fans. That ambition he's talking about, that's what we should be offering. That's what we used to offer under Wilder's previous successful spells. But right now, with us bottom of the championship and Birmingham flying in League One, you can't blame the lad for choosing them over a potential return to Sheffield. Doyle also mentioned that Birmingham showed their intent early, making him feel wanted. I knew about it quite early on, which was good because it showed the intent from the football club that they wanted me. So that's always good. You always take that into account when you're making a decision. But the ambition of this football club and the way it's going, it's hard to turn down. Hard to turn down. Those words sting a bit when you consider we could have been offering him the same pathway, back to the top flight. But we weren't in a position to make those promises this summer, were we? Not with the chaos surrounding Sell's appointment and the disastrous start to the season. So where does this leave us? Well, if Birmingham signed Doyle permanently for $6 million in January, that door's shut for good. He'll be their player, building his career at St. Andrews, helping them climb back up the divisions. Fair play to them if they pull it off. But it's another reminder of opportunities missed, of players who did well for us slipping through our fingers. Here's my question for you. Would you bring Tommy Doyle back to Sheffield United if you could? And do you think he'd make a difference in our current squad? Drop your opinion below because I reckon this one will divide opinion. The thing is, we're not exactly swimming in midfield creativity right now. Someone like Doyle, in his prime years, with championship experience and an understanding of what it takes to get promoted from this division, that's exactly the profile we should be targeting. But instead, he's thriving elsewhere whilst we struggle to string passes together. Credit to Birmingham for identifying the talent, moving quickly, and now positioning themselves to secure him long-term. That's smart recruitment. That's decisive action. That's the kind of approach we need to be taking if we're serious about climbing this table and mounting a promotion challenge. But the reality is, Doyle's story is symptomatic of where we are as a club right now. Players who could help us are choosing other options because we're not attractive enough, stable enough, or ambitious enough at this moment in time. That's harsh, but it's true. And until we sort out the mess on the pitch and establish some consistency, those situations will keep happening. January is going to be massive for us, not just in terms of who we bring in, but who we manage to keep and convince to join our project. If Wilder could steady the ship over the next couple of months, start picking up wins, and get us moving in the right direction, suddenly Sheffield United becomes a more appealing destination again. But if we're still languishing near the bottom come New Year, don't be surprised if our top targets choose to go elsewhere. That's football. That's the brutal reality of this sport. And right now, we're on the wrong end of it. Share this video with fellow Blades fans who remember Doyle's impact during his lone spell. Let's keep the conversation going, because your engagement drives this channel and keeps us connected as a community. Right? Let's wrap this up and bring it all together. 3 stories. 3 massive talking points for Sheffield United. First, Chris Wilder's made it clear he wants a striker in January, and after seeing Oli McBurney bang in goals for Hull whilst we struggle to find the net, you can see why. Second, Wilder's thrown down the challenge to the players. Take responsibility, show character, and start delivering results. No more excuses. And third, Tommy Doyle's future looks set to be at Birmingham City, not Bramall Lane. With the Blues preparing a £6 million permanent move, these aren't isolated incidents. They're all connected. They all point to the same thing. Sheffield United is at a crossroads. The decisions made over the next few months, both on and off the pitch, will shape our immediate future and potentially our long-term trajectory. Are we going to be a club that fights back, climbs the table, and mounts a promotion push? Or are we heading for a relegation scrap that nobody wants to think about? If you've stuck with me through this entire video, thank you. Seriously, your support means everything, and it's what keeps this channel going. Now, I need you to do 3 things for me. First, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're building a community of dedicated Blades fans who want honest analysis, breaking news, and proper discussion about our club. Don't just watch and disappear. Join us. Second, smash that like button and turn on notifications. Every time we drop a new video with upgrades, reactions, or match analysis, you'll know immediately. In a season like this, things change fast, and you don't want to miss a beat. Third, get involved in the comments. Tell me what you think about Wilder's January plans. Tell me if you believe the players will respond. Tell me if you'd have Doyle back given the chance. This channel only works if we're having conversations, debating, and engaging with each other. So don't be shy. Let your voice be heard. We're all in this together, Blades faithful. Through the highs and the lows, the wins and the defeats, we stick together. That's what being a supporter means. And right now, our club needs us more than ever. Asterisk, I'll be back soon with more upgrades, more analysis, and more content dedicated to Sheffield United. Until then, keep the faith, stay vocal, and let's hope for better days ahead at Bramall Lane. Come on, you Blades.